Okay, I'm going to make this video to try to help out any other Kia EV6 or Hyundai Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6 eGMP platform owners. So this started out with a slide on black ice. The wheel was cocked this way, and I'll dub some pictures in of the damage. But essentially what happened is no body damage, no outer tie rod damage, no damage to the rack and pinion or steering rack assembly, only the inner tie rod, and that's the inner, you could see it there. No damage to that. Only the inner tie rod end was damaged. The inner tie rod was beyond straightening. It bent in two places. It bent here. And it bent here pretty bad. Now, this is chewed up. I tried to bend it back. I heated it up as I was just trying to get a length measurement. But unfortunately, I gave up on that. So what started on a 3.5-week journey, I'm now on, this Wednesday will be a month. The car has been on jack stands in my garage. I came to find out that Kia or Hyundai do not sell the inner tie rod part. They sell the outer tie rod all day long. And I'm going to get that. This part is readily available for about $90. This is the original. It was not bent. I do have a replacement anyway. But this is sold. There's a part number for this. There's not a part number for this. Nothing available. They will not send it outside of the customer being forced to purchase the entire steering rack. And not only that, I mean, you could purchase it privately and host off the inner tie rod end, but you'll spend $2,000 on average for the part from an official Kia dealer online. It's more money at local dealers. My dealer here in New Jersey wanted $2,500 plus tax. So with that said, I had to go on a quest to try to find a tie rod. And after multiple purchases and research with the help of AI and many Google searches, I landed on two candidates that work. Now, I did try the Kia Sorento, and unfortunately, that comes up about that much short. So you can't add thread, but you could take away thread. So the Sorento, they do sell it for. I know the Kia Stinger folks have had issues with this because they never sold them the inner tie rod as well. I found that out after searching. But with Kia, they'll sell the Sorento. They will not sell the EV6. Hyundai will not sell the Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6 separately from the steering rack. So this video is to try to help other people out there that cannot locate the inner tie rod without the steering rack. Now, there are plenty of steering racks available on carpart.com. The average is $1,000. That was the low. These can go up to $1,500 from what I saw. I messaged these salvage yards. They will not separate it. They understand the dilemma and what owners are in, and of course they don't want to separate it. So off the search went. Now again, I mentioned, forgive me for repeating myself, Ioniq 5 and 6 share the same platform. So this is an Ioniq 6 that I was lucky enough to find on eBay off a parts salvage yard that they allowed me to purchase separately. It was available separately for $99. They kind of chewed it up a bit, taking it off. But it is slightly different. It does have the raised collar. I haven't taken off the nylon ring, but the raised collar is not as tall as the EV6. This is the EV6. It's a much higher raised collar. It looks better machined, cleaner. This is used, but even so, it looks like a different color on the inside. I'm sure it's the same metal. Just seems like the key is polished. But that won't stop it from working. The head looks a tad bit bigger, but you know, close measurements. I haven't done them here on the film, but the width is the same here. This looks a little beefier. But with that said, it's essentially the same part. Obviously, our shiny part is different. The collar on it looks a little bit longer where the boot comes in. I do have the Ioniq 6 boot, but the Ioniq, the EV6 boot will work fine. You can see the adjustment hex goes in a little further here. But the length, if you were to take this and bend it, if I line that up and that up, if you were to take this and bend it straight, the length is the same. And that's the most important thing here, is the length. Again, adjustment hex is a little bit longer, but if you look at the thread starts about in the same spot. So this is a perfect candidate. Again, Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, Kia EV6 will work fine. They're interchangeable. Again, just slight different in the looks. Okay, so we're going to we'll put them together, and I'm going to show you parts that you can purchase easily online without searching for a salvage. This, believe it or not, is a Moog part, and it's made, let me just get up here, I got to get the part number for you. It is made for the Ford Expedition 2006 year. This is a EV456. Now, I got this part number directly from speaking with a Moog rep. Now, the boot, again, is slightly longer on the shaft, almost close to the Ioniq 6. This fits in. It does have a hex, and these are slotted, but it fits in. It's already been tested. It goes inside the steering housing. There's no touching, so circumference is okay. If one was to use this, you could grind down. You don't have to grind here, but you could grind here if you really want it to be comfortable. It's not going to affect the strength of it at all. The stem is long enough. We're dealing with an M16-1.5 right-hand turn thread on each side. So this works. The only thing on this one, the hex lines up almost identical with the Ioniq 6. The only thing you would have to do is take off that much thread. All right, so I mean, if I was to measure it, you're looking at taking off approximately 1 3/4 amount of thread. And then what you would do is clean this up with a die tool. So this is a perfect candidate to use. But what's even better is this Mercedes. Now, this Mercedes tie rod, I found it on European websites, the only ones that sell the Moog variant for some reason, and other manufacturers. It's really close. It has raised boot collar, so the boot will sit here. And sorry, I got to get in a little closer. Oh, let me just zoom in here. So the boot will sit here. These are raised collars. It doesn't have an inner groove like the other variants, but it would still work with the boot. This, again, M16 1-5. And on this one, let's move out the bent part, and we'll line it up with the Ioniq 6. This one, you only have to take off about a 1/2 inch. Now, I just got this off the car. Even with leaving this thread on, this does have the ability to take up a bunch. Now, it may affect the ability to tow in. Let me just think about that for a moment. Yeah, you would turn this, tow out, and you may have a little bit of adjustment issues if you don't take off some thread. You'll lose some on the inner, but no one's going that far with the toe. So if you took off that much, maybe a 1/2 inch, 12 millimeters, this is perfect. Although I put it on my car, I don't have an alignment rack here, but even with this turn pretty much all the way in, I had some adjustment room on toe in and toe out. So this part number is a Delphi, and let me go ahead and get the box. This is a Delphi part, a TA3597. So to me, this is the most perfect or near perfect replacement. It has a raised collar. It's not as high as the original part, but the circumferences match, the thread matches. This was about $35 on Amazon. Amazon, believe it or not, I looked at my local parts store, AutoZone, Napa, etc. No one had it. I believe the variant, the Mercedes variant, and don't quote me on this, is a European Mercedes. Potentially not sold in the United States. I don't know. But at any rate, Delphi TA3597. This seems to be the go-to. The Ford Expedition may need a little bit of work of grinding these down, even though it clears, but they're close, and that makes me just a little bit nervous. This one's cheap, $12.95. I got it on Amazon. Maybe it was a particular deal, but they all average about $40, these aftermarkets, which is a lot better than spending, $1,000. So again, that's the video. I just want to help people out because, boy, was I in weeks worth of research on this. I just didn't feel it was necessary to have to pay Kia. My local dealer quoted me about $4,000 with the tax. To replace this on all data is a 13-hour book job. And all data states you have to take out the front motor and the front reduction gear to replace that steering rack or rack and pinion system. It's a 2025 EV6. And by the way, the 2025 has a different part number for the steering rack assembly than the 2024. So 2022 through 2024 EV6 is the same part number. Now, I think they just updated the part number. This car does have, like the EV9, it does have a telescoping steering wheel that's electronic. I don't know why that, maybe they changed the part number for the steering wheel linkage, but I can confirm that the 2024 will work with this. So if you get yourself on a 2022, 2024 inner tie rod off a salvage yard and you have a 2025 EV6 or Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6, they're interchangeable. Okay, so I'm more than happy to answer any questions. I posted this on the, there's a long thread on the Kia EV forums for the EV6 sub portion of that forum site, and I did post it on Reddit. I'll update the Reddit post, but it's been a mission for me now to share this with the community to help out others that are in my position, that have the ability to do this work. It's not very difficult, but even if you don't, I have a friend who has a local automotive garage that could help me. I mean, you could take it to a Firestone dealer. Anybody local to you could do this work if you can't, and save you, you supply the part and they will save you a lot of money from going directly to Kia. And like the Kia, I have a video on the Kia EV9 sound system where I installed an aftermarket subwoofer, just a subpar sound system in an $80,000 EV. Shame on Kia for that, and shame on Kia for this. It is inexcusable that they do not make a part that frequently can wear out or be damaged available outside of spending thousands of dollars and a lot of work putting in a whole steering rack for a $60 part. It's just wrong. And we wonder why car insurance is so expensive today for people, because now the insurance has to pay. If I claim this on my insurance, not only would I have to pay my deductible, the insurance goes up. It's like, folks, I would say to the insurance companies, tell the car companies, the manufacturers, you're not going to insure the car if you do this. But forgive my rant. It'll fall on deaf ears. Why they do this, It's got to be about the money. There's no reason why. Let me mention one other thing. So the Kia Telluride and Ioniq 9, and I believe the Palisades share the same inner tie rod. The problem with that tie rod is it's a little longer, like the Expedition tie rod, but even if you were to cut some off, the hex is too far down. And you'll notice on the Kias, there's this transition from the hex area to the thread. And if you look close enough, this is actually, you can't really see it, but this is a little narrower. This transition's a little narrower, and you can't put enough thread on. So the thought was to take that part to a machine shop and have this machine down and put thread on it. But it was the transition area that just didn't have enough meat on the bone to put thread on. It probably would work, but this is a much better. The Delphi TA3597 is a much better choice. All right, any questions? I'm more than happy to answer. I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and I will link it to forums and spread it far and wide to combat this nonsense from these car manufacturers. And again, I say, like I said in my EV9 subwoofer install, shame on you, Kia.